Yeah, so there was a high-profile incident the other day where an ex-Scientologist activist and well-known YouTuber was falsely arrested by Officer Talman up on Hollywood Boulevard. He was held for 4 hours. He was even told to be handcuffed to a sink in the bathroom before he was finally released because there was quite a crowd out here. Talman has a history of running cover for the Scientologists in that there's large protests going up there on Hollywood Boulevard every day for the last 2 months. And even you, Officer White, have interfered with that. If I'm correct, I think I have 2 or 3 complaints pending against you right now. Even an incident that happened at the Blue Building, which is not even in your division, where you were harassing a protester over there. I'm asking you, is Officer Talman being investigated for this incident? And keep in mind, while this protest was going on outside, Officer Talman took to the roof to laugh, point, and wave off the protesters. So I'm asking you, Officer White, and I understand that's a friend of yours. You have performed on stage with him when he was singing at a Scientology Christmas event a few years ago. I guess you played the guitar. So is Officer Talman under investigation for that incident?
So my understanding from the videos I've seen that were posted is that you guys were definitely making a personnel complaint. If a personnel complaint's made, the LAPD takes it. So that was definitely the investigation.
Statements online is not an actual formal complaint.
Can you continue, Mr. White?
So, well, if that's the case, then no, I won't get notified, but there's no way that, or let's just clarify, since I don't actually know, if a person wishes to file a complaint against an officer, there's a process for that. Mr. Good, I know you know it well. Like you said, you have 2 pending complaints against myself. So we're not shying away from that. That process is there for the public to utilize as they see fit. So I would speculate that there's most likely a personnel complaint initiated. Speaking to some of the stuff that you mentioned, and this is to potentially my own detriment, because as I do have 2 pending complaints that were issued. I have to protect my community. The community is what's there. And a major portion of what I deal with is interacting with communities. And some of the biggest ways that is through like neighborhood councils, homeowners associations, business improvement districts, and then the various clergy that make up within Hollywood. Last week I was at the Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church on a human trafficking walk. I've been to Ramadan dinners at a mosque outside of Hollywood Division over in West LA, menorah lighting, some ceremonies with the Jewish religion this past couple months ago.
Did you harass the protesters in front of there, or was it only with the Scientologists?
Oh, and as part of your I have to get those people. And on that note, and again, I respect your you guys have an opinion about Scientology, and I respect
You do too.
Protests, and I do not want to interfere with that. The day of the incident, for the what you consider to me a failure to make an arrest for a battery, where I think it didn't meet the probable cause.
It did.
There were several
It did.
Things where Scientology requested enforcement on your part, and I was glad to tell them that's not a violation. That's their First Amendment right. That's not something we can take enforcement. I'm not trying to take sides.
Because it didn't break the law. He broke the law.
Are we talking about?
We're talking about the battery.
Okay, well, that's like a very specific comment, and we're like a bunch of people in this room with agenda items. So is there any way,
Yes.
you can sidebar?
I can't.
It's pointless. You can move on. We can go to the next question.
Okay, cool.
Go to the next question.
Yeah.
A public safety meeting. If you guys want to do it, Mr. Good, I meet with you.
I have no interest in meeting with you. You've already shown your true colors. Move on to the next question.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. White.
Yes, hi. I'm also calling as a concerned citizen about the protests going on in front of Scientology. If the protesters are peaceful.
LA audit.
But Scientology
This is LA audit.
has called, I would say, probably we're at least 24 calls now. From
Correct.
anything ranging to spilling nonsense, noise, whatever, all the way up to, man with a gun, man with a long gun, arson, bomb threats, which is all ridiculous. None of that is happening, because even with the night of the bomb threat, the officers came, they were in there giggling, and my question to you is, if any of the protests step one pinky toe out of line, you're gonna haul them in, even if they didn't do anything wrong, like, was just mentioned, with the previous, arrest of somebody who was a victim of an assault. And, but at Scientology, who is abusing the system, they are tax exempt, they're not even paying for the system.
This is what
Even
LA.
people are paying for you in these services, and we are not, and you're using all the resources going up there, all these silly nonsense calls, or very serious calls, or come, the police come. And if any of it has been founded, and people would have been arrested from the protester side, none of that has happened. So I want to know, when are you going to hold Scientology accountable for misuse of 911 and, and abusing the system? Whoever called in these big threats needs to be arrested. And we will, and we're going to keep coming here until someone is arrested for these threats, because they are putting everyone in danger.
That's two.
Thank you.
Thank you. Officer White?
One thing I would say, something we're struggling with on both sides is
No.
there are third parties. You guys know the whole swatting thing. Once a third party,
That's nonsense.
They see stuff going on, third party can call in a threat, and we don't get the option to say we're not responding.
Officer White, the Rolling Stone article, they cited it. Scientology cited it in the article, so it's not swatting.
Swatting is?
So I'm talking about swatting. If an outside person calls
It didn't happen.
and says, I get that an incident's happening there, even if
Scientology owned up to the calls, Officer White.
so any of those, but here's the thing, also, if somebody calls them and they call us, I can't say,
They felt enough about it to cite it in a Rolling Stone article that they are being threatened. They owned up to these calls.
so we'll say this, I do know that lists of phone numbers have been provided, and those are being, those will be as best as possible investigated, depending upon how, as everyone knows, you can bounce phone numbers off apps and spoof stuff and things like that, so, there have been a list of numbers provided, and those will be investigated as best as possible.
Well, thank you, Officer White.
Abusively, they're going to be charged. But that same thing needs to go for the 501c3s. I don't know if the current laws include them, but if not, it needs to. Because it is disgusting, the level of abuse that is going on for peaceful protests. No violence, no anything from the protesting side. In fact, it's the protesters who have been attacked. The person that spoke today was bit on twice. There's been dog attacks on numerous people, a hit to the head, and the victim there was arrested, they said, for felony stalking, which is ridiculous. Of course, all that was dropped, but not without him spending 4 hours locked up in LAPD. We are tired of LAPD being Scientology's lapdog, and the fact that the senior leader hit to the head and felony stalking, which is ridiculous. Of course, all that was dropped, but not without him spending 4 hours locked up in LAPD. We are tired of LAPD being Scientology's lapdog, and the fact that the senior lead officer is trying to make it sound, well, I deal with all the religions, I have to deal with Scientology. No, they are the lapdog for Scientology, because they are coming and coming and coming to these calls, and they know darn well, it's like the bomb threat, like I said, they're in there giggling, they didn't evacuate anybody, so they know it's fake. But they're on call, whenever they call, they come and they don't, and so this has to stop. There has to be some
That's 2 minutes.
legislation to make it stop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to raise those concerns with the senator. I put my email down there in the chat section if you do want to send me an email. I normally represent a hospitals in LA, so I haven't heard about these issues before, but I'm happy if you want to reach out to discuss.
Okay, one hand.
Yeah. So as mentioned on the phone call, the Scientologists have been calling the cops on protesters. They've accused 16-year-old boys of having bombs, all frivolous, putting people at risk, and they don't pay for any of these resources. They are a tax-free organization. Additionally, they do a lot of human trafficking. It happens right here on Hollywood Boulevard. I watched this 12:30 the other night. A bunch of vans full of kids are being shipped off, and they go from there to hotels and back and forth, and they're treated as adults. It's human trafficking. Some of these people are here from other countries. Came over here at 16 to become actresses from Russia, got sucked into Scientology. Their families don't even know about it, and they're walking up and down Hollywood Boulevard doing 110 hours a week for $0. You guys are elected officials. Elected officials have to take tough stances, even if it doesn't affect, even if you have no effect over it. I want each of you to tell me, should Scientology keep its tax-exempt status? Now, you could say it's not a question and answer session, but I'm asking you now, I'm asking each one of you, should the Church of Scientology keep its tax-exempt status? Yes or no?
So the board is supposed to be speaking as a whole, as an entity. We're not really supposed to be giving our personal opinion on such
They can
items.
do it in a
However,
minute.
as being an entity board member, you're speaking as a board.
Public
So
comment isn't Q&A though.
that's why.
All right, so what I'll do is I will reach out to you each individually. Sunshine, you're my boy. I know where to find you at. The rest of you, I will contact your jobs or wherever else to find you, and I will ask you, should Scientology keep their tax-exempt status? You're not going to run from this. You're going to go on record. Good luck getting reelected if you say they should.
That's 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, so any other,
Enjoy your day.
anybody online wishes to take a public comment? Okay, so it's 1 minute. Raise your hand or start.
Not from me. So I have all of them. Like I said, one of the members up there, Sunshine, I know him very well. Very well, extremely well. I already know where he stands on this. The rest of them, I'm gonna call them, I'm gonna email them, I'll show up at their job. That's an example. I'm gonna search for each one of these guys. I'm gonna search for the council members. I'm gonna search for the mayor. I'm gonna confront them. None of these people are gonna be able to have press conferences without me showing up.